Okay, so we're a few minutes after, so maybe we'll just get started and we'll allow the people to kind of join. We're at looks like we're at 11 people in total, so that puts us at like 9 of you new RGD members, so that's amazing, and that's a great number. Um, Mostly because it makes this introductions much easier to do, and then the Q&A at the end is sometimes a little bit easier the less people that we have. Sometimes when you get 16 or a little bit more, then it becomes a little bit unwieldy trying to get through everybody. You feel like you're kind of rushing. So, I'm Brent Long. I am Director of Client Happiness, also co-founder of Fusion Design Group. We're a small creative studio in Markham. I've been an RGD member since 2008 and involved on the board. I did turn on the board just before COVID for 6 years, and I've been involved in the membership committee for, man, I don't know. I started as the chair of the membership committee during that tenure as being on the board, and that was so. I mean, it's got to be going on 10 years or something. Welcome Wagon is something that we started doing a couple years ago, and I think we do. Olivia, somebody asked the question the other day and I couldn't remember. Are we doing, 3 or 4 of these a year? Is it kind of quarterly? I started looking on the calendar to see how many, and I don't know whether I had them all listed the same thing, because I think I only saw 3 last year, and I think we've done 1 or 2 so far this year. But it's been a great experience. We have a brand new presentation for this group, so that's exciting. Um, and yeah, so I'm I'm going to sort of serve as the moderator. We will do some introductions. What we want to hear is who you are, what you do as a designer, like what kind of discipline you're into, and as brief as you can, kind of how you ended up on this call and how you became an RGD member. And after we go through those introductions, I have a presentation that kind of goes over a lot of information in as short a period of time as I can make it. And then Olivia's going to go over rgd.ca. RGD.ca it's been fairly newly redesigned. I don't know. When I say that, it could be a year ago, almost, that the new website was launched. I know we continue to refine it, etc., but it's an amazing resource. And then hopefully we'll have 10 minutes or so at the end and we can do a Q&A. So that's me. That's the agenda. I'm going to turn it over to Olivia to introduce herself.
Perfect. Thank you, Brent. My name is Olivia. I have been an RGD member for 4 or 5 years almost. I joined actually, okay, so probably 2021. So 4 years ago, I was looking to kind of build up my network, and I had heard about RGD from another person working in Toronto. So I joined and learned about the volunteer opportunities. So that's sort of where I ended up on the membership committee and the D&I committee as well. With that intro, I will pass it off to Sissa.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. It's nice to see you all. My name is Sissa. I'm based in Alberta. I'm not in Ontario. I think maybe I'm the only person here. I am an associate RGD since April 2020, so 5 years. I started as a student RGD because I came to Canada to study graphic design. I currently work as a creative designer and mainly work with Photoshop, like product images and everything. I work as a volunteer as at the membership committee, and I also try to volunteer in other initiatives. I think that's it. If you have any questions that like Olivia, Brent, and I can help you with, please feel free to reach out. Matt.
Yeah, my name is Matt Diabru. I'm a brand new member. Just took off the wrapping probably about a week and a half ago. Got certified. It's been kind of a long bucket list of mine to do. With a little bit of downturn, it's find myself on the outside with a little bit more time on my hands. So I figured, okay, this is worth the investment. And so I put it in, and that's what I did. My background is tech and scientific illustration, if I trace it far enough back when I had hair and no white. But I ended up in kind of retail design, and then inadvertently in branding to kind of package the whole thing together. So I kind of like dabble in a whole bunch of it, and I'm just kind of using this as an ability to align my own personal beliefs with organizations, as well as grow my network. And the ethics as part of RGD, I've always enjoyed. So I just linked it all together. That's me in a nutshell. I guess I have to pick next. Yes.
Please.
You know what? I'm gonna just do the other Matt.
Okay, thanks, Matt. Okay, hey, I'm Matt Richmond. I'm a UX designer at Texas Instruments. So the company is a semiconductor company out of Dallas, and I work on a lot of projects for the user experience for our store, and I also work on account management projects. And the reason why I wanted to join RGD is, well, a long time ago when I was in school, RGD came and talked to my school. And it's just always been in the back of my mind. I wanted to, it's just been on my bucket list, something, me too. Like, I just wanted to be a part of something and grow my network and meet other designers, because I'm an in-house designer. So I don't typically meet anybody else. So I would love to, do some events or mentor or just get involved. That's
Awesome.
all.
That's great. Oh, Matt, you got to pick somebody else.
Okay. I'll go with, is Douglas ready?
Yeah, I'm right here. I have an interesting story stretching over my career. I become a professional RGD in the year 1999 and year 2000. I become a graphic designer and web designer in that time in Toronto. And then I started to diversify my experience in UX, interface design, architecture, like information architecture. Later on, I moved to US, and from there, I was sent over to Shanghai to build R&D centers for Autodesk, become a design director. And later on, I lead teams to invent new technologies in 3D, digital effects like 3D Max, Maya, Revit, all that. And the last 7 years ago, I joined Alibaba as a design director to promote their international effort to the global market. When the first trade war started, we all decided, a group of us decided to quit. So I become a consultant and focus on my own interest, more in documentary, video, and art installations. So I'm more like half artist and still continue my focus on branding and art direction. And I just moved back to Waterloo from Shanghai last year. So I got this opportunity to get recertified as RGD end of March. So I'm new. I'm back to the community. I want to be helpful. Because I'm always in the role of leading technologies and bringing art into technology and vice versa, and bring technology to art as well. So I've done some quite interesting artwork and movies and documentaries. So if I got a chance, I can share some of that. By the way, you can got my profile on the RGD website and search Douglas Wang. You can see some of my portfolio, a small portion of it. And that's it.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's like 25 years back home.
Wow.
Okay, so let me see. Rosalie, that's on my list.
Thanks, Douglas.
Douglas. Hi, my name is Rosalie. I'm an in-house designer for a legal tech company called DivorceMate. And I started with them right out of university. So, and I heard of RGD when I was in the Toronto Film School taking their graphic design course during the pandemic. And always kind of just followed them. And then over the course, Matt was saying, like as an in-house designer, I started to feel a little isolated from the community, not feeling supported. I work with a lot of lawyers and tech people, so there's not much of an art community in my workplace. So I started seeking outside help, and I found that conference that you guys are holding in June, and then decided to do both the associate membership and go to the conference as well. In my job, I'm a catch-all designer. I'm working on anything from brochures to websites to in the software with help graphics. Yeah, just a little bit of jack of all trades at the moment, editing videos, anything that comes my way. And then
That's
I
very cool.
thank
I just
you.
have to say that's like the weirdest dating app
No,
name.
no, no,
No, I know it's not.
yeah.
But I keep looking at the logo and I'm like, that's like an anti-dating
Yeah,
app,
it is.
divorce mate. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, so it's they've been around for quite a long time, for like 35 years, and they support family law and mediators. So tools like spousal support calculations, and yeah, so they kind of been in the legal tech industry for a very long time. Yeah, it's
Very
like
cool.
the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah, so to speak.
And then I guess I'll give it to Fiona.
Cool. Thanks. I'm Fiona. I am pretty fresh out of school. I studied at OCAD University, and I now work at Intact Insurance as a visual communications designer. Similar experience to everyone here, being an in-house designer. I really wanted to build my community outside of where I work, and I've attended the past 2 design thinkers conferences and absolutely loved them. And through that, I learned about RGD memberships, and now just a couple weeks ago decided to be an associate. So super excited to learn more and see everything that is involved.
Awesome.
Oh, and I will choose the next victim. Joanne.
Hi, Joanne. I'm one of the co-founders of Pic Collage. We're one of the top photo collage apps in the App Store. My design career kind of grew with Pic Collage. I started with being an ops person, and I was like, oh, we don't have any designers. I want to be the designer. So I went to take classes, and I took an illustration class. And at the time, it was when apps were just coming out. So they were like, hey, give us some icons, give us this and that. And I just nobody cared at the time. I just gave them stuff and it just took off. And then from there, I had to start learning UX, UI, kind of like design management, all of the startup stuff. And then branding, marketing, all of that. It's been a constant learning journey. Now I've finally been able to hand off more of the design management work. And so I'm trying to go back into being more of a maker, which is a little bit hard, but now there's all these AI tools. So now it's experimenting with all the AI tools, trying to figure out how to make the process better, working a little bit more on branding and concept designs. Uh, so I'm in Vancouver, and I saw there was I think maybe last year there was a Design Thinkers Conference and I couldn't attend, so I joined the newsletter and then I saw it again. And then when I was signing up, it says the ticket, you can be an associate as well. I was just very curious, like what's going on. And then there's all this information in here. It's like, whoa, There's lots of different things going on in the website. It looks really interesting. And so I think it really aligns to what kind of like being able to connect with the design community, because I'm more in tune with the tech community. And then there's also like SIGGRAPH with like the AI community, But then it's like, oh, what about the design community? And I've never really seen, I know there is, when I was in the US, there was AIGA, but I never really joined it. And I didn't really know what was going on there. I just attended some of the events, but it seems like this is like very organized. So I'm very curious to see what's going on. Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, I'll choose Leanne.
Thank you. So like everyone else here, I am an in-house designer. Right now I'm at a nonprofit called Parks and Recreation Ontario, but my background is in municipal and tourism related design. So I started my career at Niagara Region, and then I moved to the town of Lincoln, and now I'm with a nonprofit. I have been thinking about becoming an RGD member probably for the past 5 years, and very, very slowly working on my portfolio. And then the final kind of kick in my butt was passed to design thinkers for this year. So I got my RGD last December. And that was really, I wanted it, but the kick in the butt was the ticket to design thinkers. So I'm looking for more of a connection to the design community as well. I've been a solo in-house designer at my last 2 roles. I work completely remotely in this role, so I'm feeling a little bit isolated from the community and just looking for some opportunities to be more connected to creative people. And I will choose. I think Elaine is the only one left.
You have 2 left.
Oh, yeah. Hello, my name's Elaine. I'm a emerging graphic designer. I was a junior advocate RGD for a year last year, and I discovered RGDs when I was a student at George Brown College, and so before I was an emerging graphic designer, I was an artist, and I discovered graphic design through through concept design. So like I draw character designs and stuff, and so people told me I should be a graphic designer, so I did. And throughout my schoolings and stuff, I was interned at a startup company, and I discovered work a little bit of social media posts and marketing, and then when I was into mentorship at RGD and little guidance, and now I am I am the what do you call it, associate RGD right now.
Yeah.
And I am currently working a the project-based mentorship. In that mentorship, so I discovered I want to do something with branding, advertising, and motion, social, and marketing. That's what I'm diverged to. Yeah, basically.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And I think we only have one person left. I'm gonna, Anila, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, like vanilla without a V.
Oh, perfect.
Neil.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Great. I'm sorry I was late in the meeting, but I guess we're talking about ourselves and we're picking someone, but there is no one left after me. So, so easy peasy. I'm a graphic designer. Mainly, I have worked in digital assets, but also some print. I'm kind of mid-level. I used to live in Melbourne, Australia, where I love the weather, but unfortunately, I'm kidding. I chose to come here in Toronto. I don't know if you are all from Toronto. I didn't catch that information from the rest of you. But yeah, so I studied in Melbourne. I worked as a digital designer for some time in an agency, Clemenger Group, an advertising agency, and later on in-house for an energy company. Just yeah, regular digital design work, nothing too crazy or different, but just yeah, regular representing the brand and all the assets that they needed done. And now I've been in Toronto for the last year, and I'm just looking forward like to meet like-minded people and just join the community, joining the conferences, and having more of the fun part of the community instead of just waiting for people and designers to show up, which is not easy.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, I took this step to becoming a member so I can have more opportunities to meet people.
Awesome. That's great. It's nice to meet all of you. It's a great group. I love these calls. We meet such a diversity of people. We have a few people from the West Coast on this call, and each call we have people from across Canada. The background of RGD was very much Toronto centric at first, and then it was Ontario, and now we've really branched off. And I mean, it kind of got turbocharged once COVID happened and everybody went virtual, and it became, a real comfort zone doing virtual calls, and that really made it much easier. But what also came out of that is not just freelancers, because freelancers have always been part of the design community, but going remote, people that are designers that are fully remote, it can be lonely. I know some of the in-house people have said that, they're one person sitting in an office or working in a business or industry that isn't a creative industry, and you can kind of feel sort of very solitary, and it's hard to find ways to interact and be inspired, on a regular basis. And one of the things I've always said about RGD is, if you get out of it what you put into it, but it very much is all about the community. I know we've had, when I was on the board and part of the membership committee, one of the things I used to have to do is, on the rare occasion that a member leaves, sometimes you'll do an exit interview and you ask, and some designers get disappointed in that they haven't made business connections through our association, but it's really not that kind of association. I mean, if you're a freelancer and you can meet with an agency person or another in-house person, then potentially you could make a connection that could end up becoming a job. Or freelance contracting for a larger agency that does that kind of work. But really what we're about, as far as advocacy for graphic design in Canada, but also, as a community. And, as I'm going to go through this presentation, and I'm going to go through as quickly as I can. I will, just to let people know, oh, we have somebody just showing up. I'm going to go through this, and it's a fair amount of information in a short period of time, but I will email everybody after the presentation. I usually say within a week. So that's usually when I finally get to it, but I send a PDF of the presentation that I'm going to go over so everybody can read it in their own time. And if you ever have any questions, you can reach out to us, and I make sure that we're CC'd on it, and a few people from the RGD office in case you do have questions about anything we talk about. So I'm going to jump into it. So can everybody see the presentation?
Yep.
Yep. It's good.
Okay. And the next test is, did the slide change?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I've been through presentations and you get 3 or 4 slides in and people have all remained quiet, and then they go, we're not sure where you are anymore. So like I said, this is sort of our mandate through RGD. Canadian designers exchange ideas, educate and inspire, set professional standards, and build a strong, supportive community dedicated to advocating for the value of design. We have about 4,400 members, And we've been growing for years. It's been amazing to watch. And we're made up of every facet of designer that you can think of. Firm owners, freelancers, managers, educators, and students. That kind of covers very generalized elements of our industry. Exchanging ideas, setting professional standards, and advocating for the value of design. We have lots of ways that we communicate. The website, through the directory and jobs and webinars. So that's rgd.ca. Olivia is going to go through that after this presentation. We have lots of social media channels, all the normal ones: Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, RGD Canada, and then emails, newsletter, webinar updates, and president's message. The newsletter, which is RGD Word, which you can see on the phone off to the side there. I've always said I think that one's the best because it kind of encapsulates everything. And I think it comes out every 2 weeks, but it seems like it comes out every day. It seems like it comes very often, which just goes to show how much information RGD is posting and communicating. But RGD Word is where you'll find everything. So it's got job posting, it's got volunteer spotlights, it's got anything about events that are going on. It's really the main sort of hub, and that will take you to whatever section on rgd.ca. But I think that's the best way. I have to admit, I don't know why I keep them. As soon as I get them, I have an RGD folder, and I keep most of them because I do relate back and look at links from ones that I didn't get a chance to read. It's a great resource. Networking, we have Slack. There's lots of different channels. I do not believe this is even, breaking the surface. Accessibility, branding, career advice, ethical issues, in-house designers, vendors. I know there's firm owners because I'm part of that group. But if you're a user of Slack, a great resource. I have to admit, I am not a huge fan of Slack, but I've had to get over that. I'm sure I can't see Olivia on the call right now, but I'm sure she's laughing because I've been saying how much I dislike Slack, only because I'm old and it's just one more channel of communication that I have to deal with. But I can tell you, I've reached out again from a community perspective when we needed a resource at my firm for an illustrator or for a new designer, or a question about, is this piece of software or this app worth investing in? You can find the right channel, and people are on there all the time, and you get immediate answers. It's really quite incredible. There's always people that are there, active and responding. The book club, which meets quarterly and virtually. I think I haven't been part of it, but Natasha, who is on my team, is actually helping to run that. And she's a huge reader. She loves books. So it just sort of was a natural thing that I recommended her for. And it's been really taking off. So if you're somebody that likes to read or wants to inspire yourself to read more, sometimes they have calls with the author of the book, so you get a little bit of a talk going as well. Sometimes it's just a review of what's being read, but that's a great thing. Local events, trivia nights, Minds of Design, workshops, lectures. This has been Most of our events have been driven by virtual calls, virtual meetups, etc. since COVID, but I know we're starting to get some more local run things, trivia nights being one of those, where it might be at a pub and you might get 10 to 15 people there. So watch out for those. That would be in RGD Word when you get the email regarding events, if it's somewhere that's close to you. And if you're interested and you'd like to help start one in your area, then you could reach out and say, hey, you know what, I'd like to be the point person, and I'll set it up. And if we get 10 people to come out, I know we've done it. We're in Markham, which is north of Toronto, and so we're a little bit distanced from the urban center. And so we did a couple of events over the last couple of years, and we had 15 to 20 people come out that just kind of felt disconnected from Toronto. but they were in the suburbs and they didn't want to go downtown for events, but they didn't mind going to something that was in Markham, and they came from Richmond Hill. We had some other people from Stouffville and from Markham, all sort of towns in the area, and it was a nice way to sort of connect with people. Like everybody's been talking about, just a reason to meet some people that you can use as resources or inspiration that are nearby, that you can reach out and just send a quick text to and say, you got any ideas for this? I'm kind of stuck. We have lots of different professional awards right now. Branding awards is the one that's this year. A lot of these cycle through, so we don't do the same award every year. So the branding award is in 2025. Deadline is June 6th. And usually what happens is after all the submissions are put in, then there's judging. And I believe there's an exhibition and the award sort of gala, but it's just sort of a gathering, is usually the night before Design Thinkers, so in November. And then the in-house design awards are next year. And so it sounds like there's a few in-house people here that might be interested in that kind of work. So that's coming up next year. We have weekly webinars. And so there's all kinds of different topics that you can think of. There's stuff about accessibility. There's stuff about money related things. There's stuff for firm owners, in-house people, educators, and then all kinds of trickle down subject matter as well. Those are great. What not many people know that we've started to integrate into the new presentation is actually, because as members, we can go to these webinars, we can sign up and register for free, but we actually get a certain number of passes that we can share with other friends and designers if they're interested. And so as a certified RGD, you get 30 passes that you can use over the course of the year. As an associate, you get 15. And as an affiliate, you receive 10. So that's a great way to sort of share with other people if you know other designers or friends, even if you're working in an in-house department and you just, it's subject matter that you wish somebody understood about your role. And it's like, hey, would you join this webinar? A lot of times they're lunch hours, or we try to work around the time differences across the country when we can, but that way you can sort of invite other people. Sometimes it helps people see what the RGD is doing, and sometimes it's just about showcasing other people, educating them on what we do, and it's a great way to do that. And then a couple of people mentioned the Design Thinkers Conference. So we do have two conferences. The one in Toronto, which is because it changes every year. So October 1st and 2nd, which is super early. That's like a month earlier than usual this year. And that one's been going on, man, forever. I want to say maybe 20 years, maybe 25 years. It's our bigger event. It's 2,000 plus people, concurrent sessions. We have keynotes it's a 2-day event conference, and we have keynotes at the beginning of the day, we have keynotes at the end of the day, and we have workshops and concurrent sessions based on different subject matter. And so it's big. The Vancouver one has been going on for, I want to say, maybe 10 years. I've been to it numerous times. I've taken my team as a treat. This is our second time going this year in May, for the second time in 2 years. We did go a few years ago. It's a great experience. Very, very different. Much more laid back. Only about 500, 600 people, and no concurrent sessions. So one of the things that my team likes about it, because it's a little bit more casual is the wrong word, but there's no concurrent session. So you go to one theater, you don't have to make decisions about who's going where. You're all together all day, every day for the 2 days, and you see everything together. So Vancouver to us is a great way to sort of all talk about, when we go out to dinner at night, talk about all the things that we saw and inspired us during the day, because we all saw them. At Toronto, when we go out to dinner at the end of the day, we're discussing, what did you see? What did you like about that? Oh, I wish I'd seen that one, but this one was really good. It was about color theory or whatever. So two very different things. We have the Design Thinkers podcast, we have an in-house conference, and then we have a design educator conference. So lots of great events going on. Membership tiers, a few people talked about different ones today. So we have student RGD, where you start when you're in school. And then as soon as you're out of school, you have a few things that you can do. But what we want people to do is become an associate RGD, which you can only do for up to 8 years. After 8 years, then if you don't go on to the certified RGD membership, then you become an affiliate. Affiliate is you could do affiliate at any time. It's lesser cost, less benefits, but it does sort of dip your toe into the RGD association community. But this is kind of what we kind of hope everybody will do. You go to school as a student. Some students don't even know that they're student RGDs because it's built into the program, and so it's already sort of paid for. And some come out, and it's very hard for us sometimes to find them because emails change from college to when they come out of school and get a job. So sometimes it's hard to track people after. But then they become an associate RGD, get some experience, and then go on to be certified, or they become an affiliate until they're certified. Becoming a certified RGD, I know there's a few people that said that they had gone through this process, but you submit an application and then you do an online test. It's 24 multiple choice questions. This is one of the things that's great, that's newly added to this presentation, is to actually tell you some of the details, not just tell you the sort of milestones through the certification process. It is a test. It isn't meant to be easy. You know, we want everybody to have to work a little bit for it. We don't want it just to be certified RGD. We want people to be proud that they put that after their name. We want it to mean something. It is not like going through, a year worth of university. You do have to do a bit of studying in the RGD handbook and some other things, but it's 24 multiple choice questions when it boils right down to it. You do have to prepare. I wouldn't suggest just showing up and doing it. But a lot of people put it off, especially sort of more senior people, because everybody's busy and it feels overwhelming, but it's really not that difficult. Virtual presentation is 30 minutes to present 3 case studies from your application, from your portfolio of work. And then there's the presentation of results, which is the evaluator's assessment, but also a little mini mentorship and feedback on what you presented and how you did on the test. Some great resources that we have: the RGD handbook and accessibility 2. Both great resources. I always say I have both of them on my bookshelf right over there. I definitely look at the accessibility one frequently. Both of these are available as PDFs on rgd.ca if you wanted to download them. I believe you can purchase and have them couriered to you or mailed to you if you did want a hard copy, but you can definitely have access to them. Great resources. The handbook has a ton of stuff, everything from ethics to, about invoices and money and, professionalism, but also about design itself. It's beautiful as well as very informative. And accessibility, I always say it's done a great job. Accessibility can be overwhelming, and a lot of resources online can be very technical and hard to understand, especially as a designer. And so this really breaks it down to something that's very understandable from a designer's perspective. Volunteering, this is what I always recommend. If you're somebody that wants to get involved, like I said at the beginning, you really get out of this association what you put into it. If you're somebody that just sort of pays for your membership and never uses Slack or volunteers, becomes part of the community, you're really not going to get out of it what you really could. And the more you put into it, the more people you meet, the better your sort of group of inspired individuals that you can reach out for anything. And I find that people that volunteer are very open. Like everybody that's on this call from RGD and everybody that I know that's on any of the committees that I've been on, everybody's in it, especially if you're more senior. You feel like you want to give back. So people really do want to help and provide, you know, if I could tell somebody things that they can do in their career or starting off running their own small boutique firm that I messed up and had to learn from some stupid things because I didn't know what I was doing. If I could save somebody some trauma from doing, you know, having that experience, then that's amazing to me. Um, Amanda's somebody that has she's done a lot of volunteering. I've known her forever. She's amazing. But yeah, designers supporting designers is one of our mantras. And there's all kinds of committees. You can mentor, like a few people have talked about. There's portfolio reviews going on all the time. You can contribute by writing stuff for the website, for the newsletter, and then judging awards. Like I said, for branding awards, we'll be looking for judges, etc. So lots of different ways. And just participating in any of the Slack or any of the other social media type stuff. Virtual mentorship. One of the great things about this is we try to actually pair together mentors and mentees that are aligned as far as what the mentee is looking to get out of it, whether there's somebody that is in UI UX, somebody that's an illustrator, somebody that's starting their own firm, somebody that's in-house. We try to pair people up with someone that makes sense, that's relevant to what they're looking to learn. And so I think that's one of the greatest pluses to our mentorship program. Virtual communities, there's a ton, and I think, you know, I always say if there isn't one already existing, then, you know, we always tell people then get involved and say, you know what, why isn't there a virtual community for this? You know, and it's the same with Slack channels too. You know, and then you just reach out and say, I wouldn't mind, could we sort of promote, I'm going to start this virtual community and let's see where it goes. You know, it's surprising when you start something new that people kind of come out of the woodwork and they're like, oh yeah, I'm very curious about that. Code of ethics, that's great in the handbook. It's something that we deal with a lot. Sort of ongoing, that's the stuff that tends to be in the news, and it's usually related to this, which is spec work. We've had a campaign ongoing forever, free, fee, or flee. We try very, very hard. We're big advocates of not doing free work, spec work. You know, like advertising and architecture do in their industries, they do a lot of work in their proposals and then they get the job or don't get the job after the fact. That is not how we want our industry to run. The more, especially younger designers, get taken advantage on a fairly regular basis. You know, you have people asking, oh, it's, you know, more work will come, or I'll have money for the next project. I just need to see what kind of work you do. Or, you know, there's all kinds of excuses that come out of that. This is great for your portfolio. You need real world work. So I'm actually doing you a favor. I've heard all the excuses in my career, and you really, like, by saying yes to that kind of work, it distills what it is we do as an industry. And it's hard to charge for things when people are doing it for free or you know, for pizza. You know, it's hard to actually charge for things, and it kind of makes it hard for everybody. Creative earners. So this is our national salary survey. As a firm owner myself, I'm not a huge fan, just because it tells everybody what everybody's getting paid for different jobs across the country. So whenever I hire somebody or my own team, you know, we go through reviews. They're always like, so I was reading creative earners. Turns out I should be getting paid this or that. But for everyone else other than firm owners, it's an amazing resource. And it does give you an idea, because it is across the country. It does give you an idea about what an art director could potentially be making in Toronto versus Quebec versus Alberta versus BC. So it's the more data we get every year, the more it's across the country, the better the picture we get of our industry from, you know, border to border. 2023 results are already available, and then we just finished the 2024 survey, so that stuff's being culminated. Great Canadian Studio Crawl, another great resource. You can go online and see videos from different office spaces. I know we had done a video at some point a few years ago. because we're kind of remote and we have an office space that I sit in, which is actually the basement of my house. But my team has been fully remote. So we kind of did what the office space looks like with me sitting here by myself most of the time, and then what everybody's workspaces are like at home, since that's the environment we have. And that's sort of one side of the equation. Other sides are people with actual studios and, small studios, big studios. That's a lot of fun. And that's my part of the presentation. I haven't left Olivia a lot of time.
That's okay. I can speed run the website, and now that it's redesigned, it's probably actually a lot faster than it used to be to explain how to navigate it. So I'll start us off with my RGD tab. Can everyone see the RGD web page? I'm
Yep.
seeing nods. Excellent. Great.
The branding
Perfect. Thank
words,
you.
right?
Yes, so right now I should be on the home page, but you can see on the top right corner, these are gonna kind of be like your portals to sort of like various and sort of like individual like things that you're applying for. So the first one, this is where you sort of log in. I've already logged into my profile. In here, I can see my account, how it looks, what I have on offer, description of my membership. There we go. And what like kind of quotes or contributions I've made. And you can kind of use this portal for your certification process. Might take a sec. There we go. Where you can kind of, for me at least, since I'm an associate, this would look like me applying to RGD certification. You can see more about your membership here. This will have like your discounts, like all kinds of offers, things about like membership. And job portal, you can post a job as well as look at jobs. So this is a great spot to kind of check out what's kind of in the RGD sort of circles. But I would say one of my favorite applications of the newest website is that our search engine is just way more usable than it used to be. So you can already see I've looked up things like awards, UX community, discounts, emerging designers. So anything that's kind of top of mind, you can add. I would say as new people, I would definitely start by joining virtual communities. Those are going to be a great way for you to connect with new members. Aside from LinkedIn, which of course you can add me, Brent, and Sissa on LinkedIn. I mean, I'm giving your consent away, but if you want to add me on LinkedIn, you can do that. But you can also join our virtual communities to stay in touch with us. We have a number of different platforms for for student members. They mainly use Discord, but for the other two, associates and certified, most folks will post things in our Slack channel, though very recently we've just soft launched our own Discord. So if you prefer a sort of more browser-friendly platform, Discord is for you, but that's just gotten started, so it's pretty empty at the moment. And then if there are any sort of virtual communities like Brent said that you don't see on here that you identify with, you can let community@rgd.ca know in an email, and they will reach out to you. They'll probably reach out to me because I'm also on the D&I board, and those folks are always very interested in what people have to say about community. The homepage is a great spot for you to look through all the most recent articles that people have written, and anybody can submit something. So if you have a story to tell and you think it will really engage people, you can get in touch with Vanshika or Rushka. But if those are emails that I think what we can do is forward your way after the meeting if that's something you're interested in. And there's also an events list. I really like this part of the homepage. You can kind of see what events are coming up, what's going to be like in person versus sort of webinar style. So these are really, really lovely. And I think we had a few folks mention things like mentorship opportunities. So for things like that, there's like different things like connecting and learning. You can see mentorship sort of breakdowns, event calendars, when you can sign up to be a mentor, do portfolio reviews. You can see different resources we have about working in design or hiring designers, as well as looking through all of the incredible work people have submitted. Now that you're also all members, you can get access to our video library where you can watch every seminar that's pretty much ever been given. I want to say the oldest I've found is like 2010, maybe 2008. from design thinkers, anything we've recorded. So if you want to like sit down, watch somebody talk about something interesting, this is a great place for it. But I think that about covers it. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and leave us open to any questions people might have about our work, getting involved, or just about anything we presented today. I'll also pass it to Brent and Sissa if you have anything extra to add.
Susa?
Just one thing that I find very helpful is the RGD public calendar. I'm gonna add a link to the chat. If you click on the link, you will be able to add the RGD calendar to your Google agenda, Google Calendar. So you will see deadlines, events, so you see what's going on. I think that's very helpful. And I think that's it. Brent?
That's great. And Olivia, that was a new record. I think how fast you went through that. So we do invite everybody. Like I said, it's a lot of information after you do the introductions to sort of compress everything into an hour. But yeah, does anybody have any questions for us? Anything that we kind of didn't cover, or is everybody just super overwhelmed?
Yeah, it is a lot of information. I probably haven't spent much time on the website yet. And after Olivia's talk, I'll spend some time.
Yeah, there's a lot there. You can spend there's resources that you could spend a lot of time looking at videos for weeks. Yeah, so I mean, go and discover that. It's going to give you a lot of information, but I think a great starting point is making sure you're getting the Word email and just start with that. Click on some things that interest you, whether it's about volunteers or anything along those lines, and then you can kind of click through and spend as much time as you want on it. One thing I didn't touch on that I think is always interesting, and I feel like it's in the presentation, which again, I said I will follow up in the next week with a link to a PDF of this presentation so you have it and some contacts so you can reach out to us afterwards. And we always say, if you, like Olivia said, if you want to connect with us on LinkedIn just to start expanding and making those connections, because like I say, it's community is what this is all about. But one of the big benefits, especially when you start touching on things like the conferences, which are huge, is we have a team of paid staff at RGD. I know we talked about this recently. I feel like we have eight to 10 people that are actually paid staff, which is very unheard of for most associations in general, but definitely in the design field. Most of the other ones that we're aware of, they have one paid person that's like a director that runs an association, and the rest of it is all the work is generated by volunteers. So I'm certainly not knocking that, but if you ever wonder why, when you go to our AGM, if you're ever involved in going to the RGD AGM, the general meeting, it's incredible how much work is done in a year. And like, we're part of the membership committee, and some people are on multiple committees. But when you start seeing what all of the committees are doing every year, the volunteers, and then what's going on with just day-to-day operations of the association, and then planning for these events, by having an event in May and having an event in October, they really don't have downtime. That cycle just for creating the events and organizing everything is constant. So I'm always it's just incredible to me. I'm always in awe of what the paid people, and that's the difference, right? Like volunteers, you're relying on people to do stuff in the evening. You're relying on people to do it when they can. So the amount of information, the amount of planning is sort of has a ceiling to it. Whereas we have a lot more benefit of, always having had a good group of people that are paid. It is their full-time job to run this association. So that's something I always like to mention. Any other questions? We're getting close to the hour.
Just one question, Brent. For the event next May, for the Design Thinker in Vancouver.
Yep.
So it's my first time to be there. So I wonder what we can do besides just be part of it, like locally.
There's usually lots of stuff that goes on. So usually I know there's workshops that are going on. I know there's roundtables in the morning that are going on. There will be an RGD booth where you can come and meet
Okay.
Sissa.
Yeah, I signed up for the
and I.
volunteer. I'm gonna be there.
Okay. Then yeah, we can, when we make the connection with the email, then we'll get you to reach out
Okay.
and
Okay.
we'll get you on that list. It's a slippery slope, Douglas. Once you put your hand up,
All right. Yeah. Let me see.
Hillary will be
Yeah.
asking you to do lots of stuff.
All
So
right.
yeah, but that would be great, and that
I
means I'll
have
get
a
to meet you in
question
person.
for the trivia. Can you? I want to recommend. Because I live in Scarborough, Ontario. Do you guys have like a trivia around Scarborough, Ontario?
Overall.
We had one in Toronto, I think last month or 2 months ago. But I think they're like nowadays, Hillary is sending out emails about the events, like local events. So if you go to your RGD page and you click on your location and
Yeah.
receive emails, you will probably receive emails about what's going on around your area. So
Oh, okay, good.
that's nice too.
Thank you.
Awesome. Any other questions? All right. Well, it was nice to meet everybody. And looks like I'll meet a few of you at Design Thinkers in Vancouver. Hopefully, I'll meet more of you at Design Thinkers in Toronto. Usually, I'm at the booth. You know, anybody that's involved on any of the committees, especially membership, we tend to be in the booth, just sort of looking to chat with people. You know, there's a lot of people that go to the conference that aren't actually members. So we're always looking to convert people. And so, yeah, hopefully we'll meet in person or maybe on a committee or maybe we'll connect on Slack. But it was great meeting everybody today, and watch for my email in the next week.
Hey.
Okay.
Enjoy.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.
See
Take
ya.
care.
Bye.